Welcome to the video. This is a bike run today. Merida. I'm going to turn left just up here and let's put this bad boy in this way. Black Hill. It's still working. Alright, this is the bike today. It's Black Hill, let's go do it. Put this GoPro in this way. And then clip it in. Boom. Alright, hopefully the GoPro doesn't turn off on itself. We're gonna hit it full gas. I've got the KOM. Let's see if I can knock some time off it. Welcome to the video. This is, give it a thumbs up if you like these KOM style videos. I'm going to give you some tips in here. It's not just about me showboating how quick I am or not quick. I just want to give you guys and girls some tips out there. So this is the KOM. I've currently got the KOM. Got it a few weeks ago back in December. And this is 21-minute KOM. So it's a slog. It is a slog. It's called the hardest gravel climb in South Australia. And I would agree. It is the hardest gravel climb. The camera doesn't really do it justice. It always looks a little bit less steep on camera, but this is a wall. This is a brute of a climb, gravel, and it's good fun. So come out here on your mountain bike, your gravel bike. I've even done it on my road bike before, so do whatever you want to do. It is a great track. There's not many people actually come out here. This is Black Hill, Soft Gorge Road, and the segment has started now. So we're sitting at about, probably doing about averaging about 350 watts, just based on perceived effort there, and we're just cruising up. The trail, it's reasonably fast. You need PSI running about, I think about 27 PSI front and rear. I'm on a Merida hardtail bike with the XTR group set with a 32 front ring and a 46 up back, and I definitely needed that gear. That was very, very handy to keep the cadence, keep the traction, keep the power going. It is temperature-wise not the best conditions, about 25 Celsius, wind, reasonably calm, and ideally you'd want a bit of cooler wind, probably March, April. Just any time it's a bit cooler, you can go a bit faster, you can dig a bit deeper. So here now it really starts to kick up, getting quite steep now. You can see on the left there, you can see that big elevation gain we've got just from where we've ridden from, and it's really kicking up. And basically what I'm doing is I'm just looking up ahead for other riders or walkers or horses or snakes. You get a lot of snakes out here as well, so you've got to be paying attention for the snakes. If you could die up here from a brown snake bite, and there's no one much up here who's going to help you, and you're away from hospital and stuff like that. So you really got to pay attention. This is snake bite territory. This is probably if you want to film snakes, this is a place to be. This is where I've seen more snakes than anywhere in Australia. Is Black Hill. Now it's really starting to kick up. You see the speed slowing down there. I'm trying to pick the lines, trying to get into this left change over here, getting this faster bit of section of gravel. It's a bit more hard pack, and yeah, it helps a lot. So the gears, 32 on the front, 46 up back, 11 speed, and hard tail, bit of suspension up front. Don't really need the suspension, but it does the job good. Bike weight, it's about 9 something kilos, maybe it's even under 9 kilos. I'm going to sneeze for a second, wait up. Alright, sneeze break. And yeah, cruising along here. This is, I'm just trying to pace it, because this first few minutes you can really cook it too much. You can get excited and then produce a lot of lactic acid, which will produce a lot of hydrogen ions, and that's the hydrogen ions that shut down your legs, where your legs just feel like you're pedaling through mud, you're losing power. So you always want to keep that red zone just on the edge there. You don't want to go too much in the red zone, otherwise you've got more hydrogen ions, then you need a few minutes to sort of buffer them out. So you're just redlining it, redlining the whole way up, just trying to keep that power as even as possible. Starting to kick up again, really getting slow here. It's really slowing up there. And if you go left up there, that's another really, really steep wall. But today we're going right, and we're trying to beat my KOM, see if I can get some time off of it. But yeah, constantly just looking for brown snakes. You also have death adders up here, and the death adders, they don't move. Brown snakes move, but death adders don't. So if you have a death adder, it won't move out of your trail, so it'll just start striking you if you get too close. The death adders Very, very lethal snake. Quite rare-ish. They're not really rare, but they're just really hard to see. They're really, really camouflaged. So they often sit on the edge of the trail, sometimes bang in the middle, and they wiggle a little tail trying to attract a bird or a lizard or something like that, and then they just strike. And they're a front fang snake with a big power-packed venom neurotoxin that will kill you. That can kill you, you know. So if you get bitten by a death adder, you know, you're not going to be having too much fun. And here's a little thing: if you ever get bitten by a snake, never ever wash the bite. All right, don't put any water on there, because you know you want to go to hospital straight away. Because what they can do is, if you don't recognize the snake, then they can swab the area. They can swab the snake bite area. Okay, so let's say you get bitten by a mulga or a king brown or a fierce snake or a taipan or an inland taipan or a red belly black or a blue belly black or a copperhead, you know, or a death adder or a, you know, eastern death adder, whatever. They can swab the area. Don't wash it. All right, don't wash it. Don't bite into it and try and suck out the venom. That doesn't work. Just what you want to do is get a bandage or rip up your jersey and just apply firm, not full-on hardcore pressure, but firm pressure, and lay down and get on the phone and get help. Because if you start pumping around, getting that blood, then that's when that venom's going to go to your heart, it's going to go to your brain, it's going to go to your kidneys, and it'll literally turn your blood into soup. It'll melt your organs, and you'll be in big troubles there. So the walker here, also paying attention for walkers, you know. And I was going so hard at this point, I couldn't even see the face of the walker. If you said to me, what does a person look like, I wouldn't be able to tell you. So that's how hard I was going. I could see the walker because I'm paying attention. You don't want to run into a walker. You don't want to run into a kangaroo. You don't want to run into a death adder. And the kangaroos as well. Another thing here is kangaroos, a lot of eastern greys and red kangaroos, they're a bullroo. And that bullroo will strip your guts open. They will kick you like a Muay Thai front kick. Uss, uss. And they will you know, disembowel you with their claws. So if you ever come across a big bull kangaroo, just go around it. You know, if it charges you, lay on the ground. Jump off your bike, lay on the ground. Don't try and fight it, because you know, a big bull will take out any man. Now, there is a bit of footage online where some guy punches a kangaroo in the head. That wasn't a bull kangaroo. That was just, you know, a timid kangaroo. But a full red bull or full eastern grey aggro bull in breeding season will take out Conor McGregor. You don't want to mess with those kangaroos. Again, that's rare. I'm just saying. I'm giving you all the heads up there, because, you know, death adders and bull kangaroos, you know, and you got drop bear koalas, but that's more of a troll there. You know, this is legit. You do have a few wild boars out here, but nah, not many razorbacks in South Australia, this part of town. So now it's really kicking up. This is the wall. This is called the brutal wall of Black Hill, and you're holding your traction there. You're looking for the line. You're changing left to right. So I'm just trying to go that hard pack, that ridge here. They go that ridge in the middle, and just trying to get that hard pack going on there. I'm filming this on a GoPro Hero 7. It's quite stable, isn't it? Got a little K-edge bracket out front there. Yes, it's just kicking. And this is where you don't want to have too much hydrogens in your legs from going too hard the previous 5 or so minutes. You want to pace it really, really well. You want to pace it really, really well. And I didn't, you know, I could have gone faster today. I didn't eat enough carbohydrate yesterday. I ate enough. I had pizza for dinner last night. I had 2 extra large pizzas, vegan pizzas, no vegan cheese, super low fat, super low oil. And that was good, but really I should have had cornflakes with sugar, you know. Having as much sugar as I was carved up, but you know, if I want to really go faster, you got to have cornflakes and sugar for dinner. You got to have that for dinner. You know, if you want to go your fastest, you need cornflakes and sugar for dinner, or white rice and sugar for dinner. You know, so I had a little bit of white rice yesterday, but you know, sufficient amount, but not. I didn't max it. You know, and if you want to go your max out at watts, you got to max out the sugars. So I had sufficient sugars yesterday, and I did sufficient watts today, but it wasn't PR max, you know. So that's all good. That's all good. Also, hadn't ridden this mountain bike with these shoes for maybe 2 months. So this is also the first ride back on the mountain bike, and my body wasn't really used to it. The seat height felt a bit weird, but that's okay. You know, these aren't excuses. These are just variables. And obviously, if I was really dedicated to go faster, you know, my fastest up this climb, I would ride the mountain bike, you know, probably as my daily bike, just so you really, really adapted to the angles and the geometry, so you can get that neuromuscular facilitation contraction going on there, you know, and just really every single watt. And so having, you know, big pizzas for dinner is fine, but it's not going to optimize glycogen partitioning like that white rice with the table sugar, as much as you want. I mean, I had as much pizza as I want. I had 2 extra large pizzas last night from Domino's Australia, about $8 each. So, I was wedged and I had a great feed and I was satisfied, but it wasn't really a performance meal, It wasn't a performance meal. I should have had the white rice or the cornflakes and sugar in the same amount of volume or sufficiency. Eat as much as you want. You always got to go to, you got to leave the dinner table stuffed, like full. Leave lunch just full. Almost about to vomit. And if you do vomit, have a break and then go back and eat what you vomited. You want to have enough carbohydrate, and that's the only way. Like if you can eat it, you should. When it comes to high carb, low fat vegan foods. Now another thing as well, we'll talk about food combining as well, because when you're really trying to get every single watt, food combining is very important. If you eat, I see people having like watermelon after oats, and I'm like, what are you doing? You're just gonna have so much bloat in your gut. All right, fruit, water, etc. digest really, really quickly, especially fruit. It just, if you mix fruit with other foods like potatoes or starches, or maybe you're not a vegan, so you're having like meat and stuff like that, this meat just sits in your gut for so long, it's like, and oil and things like that, they just sit in your gut, and they sort of putrefy and not really, digesting as good as they could, because they're not really ideal human foods, and so you're having more bloat, and then that bloat can affect your diaphragm. It can just take the edge off your diaphragmatic efficiency and effectiveness. So then you're losing watts, because we know watts comes from oxygen. We know watts comes from red blood cells. We know watts comes from muscle glycogen. All those 3 things: oxygen, red blood cell count, and muscle glycogen. And then you've got your electrolytes and stuff like that, sodium potassium ratios and osmosis, and all those things. They affect your wattage, your power transfer there, your position on the bike. But we're talking about a cellular level here. So if you have all that bloat in your gut because you're just eating whatever whenever, then you won't have the best breathing capacity. And that's what it's all about, is that empty sort of stomach vibe with high capacity breathing from the diaphragm, just so you can maximize and optimize your VO2 max percentages. You might have a VO2 max of, say, 80. I think my best was 82. But if you've got a belly full of food that's not digesting properly, your VO2 max might be 65, after that meal, because you just can't breathe as deep because you've got the bloat. You've got the bloat going on. So that's another thing. That's a huge marginal gain. People are, but I didn't learn that at university. And university's like old school, man. Like you learn at university what they want you to know. You don't learn like the cutting edge. You learn the industry bias. That's what you learn. You don't learn the most cutting edge. It's like, that's why people are, you got a degree. And it's like, I got a PhD in reality. That's my degree there. Like, I look with open eyes into the world and look for all the little edges and things like that, and talk to people all the time. I talk to strangers all the time. It's almost irritating for some people how much I talk, ask questions and stuff like that. That's how you learn. That's how you learn, man. Don't be afraid to ask questions and learn. If people are closed-minded or closed up, then next, So here we see on the trail, picking the right-hand side, picking that fastest line, all right? Fastest line. That's where the most traction is going to be. Do you see it? See where I'm riding down to the line here? Over to the left, there's more gravel there. So in the gravel, you're going to be more spinning. There's going to be less traction there, right? Less traction. So you're always looking for the best, fastest line, so your rear wheel has the traction, you're not spinning out. If you spin out, that's fine. Dab your foot. If you have to, keep on pedaling. That's a skill, all right? So a lot of people get frustrated. They're riding these trails. They're really, really steep. Like, this is steep. This is steep, man. This is steep as. A lot of people get frustrated because they lose traction and then they fall over or they fall off or they have to dab their foot. That's okay. Just grab your front brake and start again, things like that. And just practice. Practice learning how to start after you have to dab your foot. Practice that, and don't let it fuzz you, If you get all fuzzy in the head and frustrated and stuff, then you lose your breathing. You lose your VO2 max efficiency. You knock a few points off your VO2 max just being frustrated. You hold your breath and you're like, and you start moaning and gasping and all that stuff. You just stay relaxed, deep breaths, controlled breathing, just breathing from your belly, letting that oxygen come in, letting that fat come out, because we know that it takes 3 kilos of oxygen to burn 1 kilo of fat. So if you've got an open mouth, your body can burn fat. Your body really can't burn much fat at all if your mouth's closed. It just can't. So if you want to burn more fat, then let that fat breathe out of your body. That's how we get rid of fat. Do you know that? Look, Google it up. How does fat leave the body? It is from the breath. You breathe the fat out literally in carbon dioxide. So open it up, breathe it out. This is real last little pinch here for this part of the climb. You know, picking that hard pack on here on the right hand side, and all the kangaroos have made it a bit harder, and then we're starting to flatten off a little bit. But it's really mental. You know, the last bit of this climb's coming up, but then we've still got another around 10 minutes to go. But we just got 2-part climb, and it's going to go like that. It's going to go. I've got Natasha in the background here. She's not wearing any clothes, being a bit of a distraction, trying to troll me. But we'll just keep our eyes on the prize here, and this is we're going to hook up right, and there's another trail we're about to jump onto. So this is the first part of the climb. It's called Durianrider's TT. I'm sitting about third in that, I think, overall, but I really want to get that TT time and get it down. And this is where you can get in steep again, and you can lose traction. You can get frustrated because you're trying to chase the seconds here, things like that. And Natasha's posing here. I'm not using this footage. I'm just using the audio, Natasha, so you can bounce them titties all about you want. This ain't going to be aired. It wouldn't be aired, and this will be for the OnlyFans. This is for the OnlyFans. This is the OnlyFans account. We've got to keep this PG, please. PG, please. And this is what happens when you have Victoria's supermodels living at your house. There's all sorts of shenanigans going on. This is this is a part of the climb where you're giving it some gas as well, trying to squeeze out a little bit more watts, but not too much, because you got to go over the top of this, recover for 30 seconds to a minute, and then you got to go again. You got to go again for another however long it's going to take. And so you're picking this line here, trying to go on the right here, a bit harder pack, a bit faster, cruising up here. This is where you see a lot of kangaroos in the morning as well. And a kangaroo could come along and just kick you off your bike. They could just charge you. You get an angry kangaroo, just come bang, just boost you off your bike. They'll just kick you, power kick off the bike. So it does happen. It does happen. So I jump to the right of this trail here. Just a little bit of a faster line there. Got a bit of momentum going there. It's basically carrying momentum. You want to carry your momentum up the climb. And the more climbs you do that, the more you feel it out. You can feel that momentum going on. All right, so that's what you want to do. Carry your momentum. And if you have to dab your foot or whatever, that's okay. Just keep moving forward. Don't get frustrated. Keep on pushing the power. Keep on breathing. Stay relaxed. And keep the pressure on. Take the pressure out of your head. And put that pressure into your pedals. Into your bottom bracket. Into that rear wheel. And just try and relax your upper body. And keep breathing. Just sucking in the oxygen there. No, it wasn't. Looked like a snake on the left there. It wasn't a snake. Who knows? There would have been death adders and brown snakes. Definitely on this part of the trail. They're definitely out there. And unfortunately, we didn't see any today. But who knows? We might see one on this video footage. I don't know. I haven't watched this yet. I'm watching it as you're watching it. Actually, you're watching after I edit it, so technically you're the second person to watch it. Black Hill, man. What an incredible resource. And there's hardly anyone out here. I saw 2 people out here today. 2 people out here today. Amazing. So this is where it starts to speed up. We've got a flat bit, a little slight downhill. You also want to pay attention as well, because you might come around the corner, might be a pack of roos sitting there. And you come across that big bull, you're going to bounce you off the bike. And you're going to give you that groin kick and just poof off your bike. So you always be paying attention for them roos. You might get a pack, come bouncing across the trail. You almost get emus as well. You get an echidna, stuff like that. So you get a pack of wild dogs, pack of wild donkeys. You got camels and stuff as well. You got deer even. So I'm hitting it pretty hard right now, but I'm also understanding that I'm not the only one out here. There's a lot of animals out here as well. Right? So I'm not riding pretentiously and entitlement that I'm the only one person on the trail. Everyone give way to me. I understand. Anything can happen, any second, any time. That's just how we roll. This is Australia, mate. And so it's coming down here. We've got to do a sharp sort of left-hand turn. So don't want to have too much speed and miss the turn. Here we go. And then bang, you want to have that whole shot. There we go. Good line there. Good work, Durianrider. Got the whole line. And this is really starting to, I've had a bit of recovery so I can spike the power a bit. Get back into that groove. Get back into that red zone. You don't want to spike it too much, but you want to spike it enough that, you use the momentum. All right, so we've settled into the power now. Trying to hold that 350 magic spot for me. Your magic spot might be 500. Your magic spot might be, 200 watts. It's all about finding your sweet spot there and just holding it the whole out the climb. I don't have a power meter on this bike. I tried putting the road power meter on there the other week, but it was just the spindle was a little bit short and it was dicking around. Didn't work. So there's no power on this bike. So I'm just riding to feel but I've been using a power meter for 12 years now, and so I've got a pretty good feel of what I'm doing, and so I'm just feeling it out. Now, how could I go faster up this climb? Well, more training, but how could I go faster there today, this week? Well, what I could do is have my cornflakes and rice and sugar for dinner instead of pizzas. That's a big one. Also, what I could do is have someone to race up here. That would be really cool. If I got someone to challenge me up here. I know there's a guy up here called Frankie Fingers. He rides his e-bike up here, and he steals my KOM every now and then, and his ride gets flagged, and he just goes and does it again. So it's sort of disrespecting all us riders on Strava by just stealing KOMs on the e-bike again and again. I mean, I don't know, but it would be good if I met Frankie Fingers up here, and he's quite a large sort of dude, about 150 kilos or whatever on a high-powered e-bike. So it'd be good to be able to sit behind him and just pace. That'd be good. Or I'll come out here with a couple of mates, and we'll happy with a race up here for some bit of prize money. So that is that's how I could go fast. If I had someone to race or pace off up here, then that's where you can really push yourself. So when you go by yourself, it's your brain's always like, why are we going fast? I mean, just relax, man. Just chill. Just conserve your calories. So little water bars there, those little lumps there, they're just designed for when a big rain comes, that the water just sort of brushes off the end of the trail. It doesn't sort of rut the trail out too much. And so you want to have, again, when you come back down the hill, pay attention to those water bars. I've seen people last 23 years of racing bikes and riding the mountain bikes and stuff like that. Actually 24 years racing mountain bikes, that I've seen a lot of people have big crashes on these water bars because they're just flying down the hill. Yeah, smashing it, man. Smashing it, bro. And then they hit this water bar and just broken arms, chopped teeth. It ain't fun. Concussions. You want to look after yourself out there, gang. Yes. And so there's another walker there. Again, I'm always paying attention to the walkers because I'm not the only one on the trail. So even if I have my head down, I'll make sure my head's up beforehand. And now we're coming up here. You can sort of see the winds. Not that too much wind today. You can see the tops of the trees. A little bit of a gust, but nothing too full on. So again, that's another thing is you want to pick your right winds on Strava. If it was a strong easterly, I wouldn't have come out today. I'd just probably stay at home and work on the bikes and the computer. But the winds are reasonably calm, so I thought it was a good time to crack a bit of time. Because what's the point of putting all that effort in? Just let the wind take away your chances there of doing a PR. And again, you can always go for PR watts as well, but I'm going for PR time-wise because I don't have power meter on this bike, so the watts doesn't matter too much to me in terms of recording that. And this is the last little right-hander here. Again, it gets a bit rocky, a bit of a change in terrain. You've got to pick your line. This is where I activate the suspension a little bit. I've got a lockout feature on this bike. I've got a Fox fork on there. Okay, picking the smooth lines here. Still kicking up. We're still climbing. It's still a fast climb. You can sort of see how high we've gotten. We're going to overlook the Sydney Adelaide in a short minute. And this climb, Black Hill, it's maybe about 15 k's from the CBD, 10 k's from CBD. I'd say that's about 10 k's from the CBD. You'll get to the sort of this Black Hill area. It's part of the Mount Lofty Ranges, and you see it starting to rain a bit. You can still see a few drops of rain there, which was quite nice. The air quality was fantastic. Really good air quality today, and really, really good air quality today. There, last little kicker here. The camera doesn't do it justice, but it's quite steep. So I'm again picking that line, making sure I'm in that hard pack area, getting that free speed. If you go to your right, there's more gravel, you're slipping around, so always go the hard pack, right? Always pick the right line, the safest line, the fastest line, the best line, the most optimized line. Change lines if you need to, change it. Pay attention, keep breathing, stay relaxed, pressure on the pedals, no pressure in the head, and then boom, we're coming over to the top. We're going to turn right, and that is the end of the climb. We're at the top, the highest point there in Black Hill, pretty sure. And boom, then down the side, we're just going to recover. You keep spinning the legs, keep paying attention, get your head up. Again, you got the bull kangaroo. Put your head down there, big bull. Poof, give you that king hit to the gut. So we're paying attention, spin the legs out, clear that lactate, clear out the hydrogen ions, get the Krebs cycles kicking over, and just appreciate the day, the moment, the fresh air, the ability to exercise in beautiful Adelaide, Australia. Just appreciate that moment, have the gratitude there. done deal. So that is how I train once a week, do a little TT like that, and I find it's just a fun way to stay, you know, really fit. I'm age 43, 44 soon. Put in the hard work, get the hard results. Thanks for watching.
Woo! Oh, still recording, yes. Oh. This is the rig. I definitely use those gears.